Families come in all shapes, sizes, and forms. And one that's important to think about is it possible you have a blended family? Maybe your parents got divorced and remarried, and now there's two different families. Or maybe there's kids from the first marriage, kids from the second marriage. Maybe there were two sets of kids and no kids from the second marriage. And now dementia's in the mix. This can get messy, it can get tricky, it can get frustrating because we now have two adults that we're trying to support and they're together, but we're not necessarily in one family. I may be seeing it for what's best for my dad, and you're seeing it what's best for your mom, or maybe we're finding it difficult to be supportive of one another because both of them are living with brain change. Yeah, it comes in all flavors and all colors and all shapes. But when we have blended families, sometimes there's secondary gains that have to be considered. Sometimes there's different perspectives walking in. If somebody came into the relationship, the second relationship, with more resources than the other person, then the group in the first category is thinking, well, that's not fair, because if they use all those resources on that second person who is living with dementia, then there'll be nothing left for them, or maybe there'll be nothing left for us, because there is this idea of resources being used during dementia and resources available after dementia. And maybe we're just worried about resources in general. Or maybe we're worried about what's happening to the person that we care about because they're wearing themselves out, or they're not getting the care I think they should be getting because this person is holding on to the purse strings. And you know what? I would suggest, if you're in a blended family or you're trying to support your person in a blended relationship, it's probably time to go, hey, we're going to need some help. We need some expert folks here who understand about blended families, who understand about resource allocation, who understand the dynamics are going to potentially get messy. And even if you're not in a blended family and the interactions are getting messy, you probably want an expert. Because when it comes to resources, figuring out how resources are going to get used and where resources are going to be used and where somebody's going to live and how somebody's going to live and how this is going to go. Do you really want to spend time in court trying to figure this out, seeking guardianship? Oh, I would suggest, if you can, trying to front end some of this by working with someone who's very knowledgeable and skillful and working in family dynamics and working in legal circles and working in the support that might be needed, so that you don't go pretty far down the journey and then find yourself boxed in or trapped. Blended families are families that are really on different pages when it comes to resource allocation and use. Probably a great idea to recognize what's going on and understand I need help, because trust me, you will.